Yeah, good evening and welcome to another edition of Sports Wrap. And the whole crew is there, guys. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lockett Sebastian, and to my right is
Emmanuel Loblack.
and to my left is
Ron Landa.
and
Dr. Thompson Fonte.
right. So we have the whole crew, and tonight we're going to give you a nice show. We're going to be talking football. I think the football season is about to start, so we'll have the PR of the Football Association. We'll also be speaking to Jerome Melo's daughter from in Canada. Jerome Melo, former Windward, Dominica Windward Islands cricketer, who passed last weekend. So we'll be speaking. Well, Emmanuel is looking at me, he's shocked. Yes, Lobby, Jerome Melo has passed. We'll be speaking to his daughter in Canada. We also will be talking about the Champions Trophy final. That's on Sunday morning, guys. And the Windward Islands doing very well in this round. In fact, guys, I have a trivia question. A team got a ball out for 44 today. Do you know who it is? Which team?
Yes.
And what was the top score, Dr. Fonte?
Jamaica.
Okay, what's the top score in that match? In the last inning?
I think it was 9.
No, extras. Extra 17. Jamaica were bowled out for 44.
By whom?
By Guyana today.
In fact, they bettered the record that was set by, again, the same two teams. But Guyana had the record of 45 in Sabina Park, and today they reversed it with 44.
Well, the ball out, we'll talk about that when we come to cricket, 44. But guys, John Land and I, we went to Evan John, a former cricketer himself, former Cricket Association president, former police officer, was given a good send-off today. We all three were there. I mean, it was nice. I mean, some people got confused with the time.
Yeah.
Funeral was that 2 people thought it was 3. But the most shocking thing is that they ain't a former police officer. You would have expected a lot of policemen. And they came 10 minutes before the funeral was over, dressed all in black, guys. I mean, that was a bit poor. But you know something I laugh at, Louis? When the Father John Little saying, well, he's going to paradise. I said, by my only head, you go in a hole covered in dirt, and you're going to paradise.
Well, it is paradise.
It is paradise.
That's where you all have to go.
In the hole covered in dirt.
Yes.
And that is paradise.
Balate. Come what may, Sebastian. We all have to go there.
Covered with dirt when you're going to paradise.
Sebastian, a lot of people are very happy at that time, you know.
You think so?
No worries. They have what they've gone through. Yeah, some of us would.
So you would rather have worries on them than to be covered in dirt?
Listen to me. Some people, if they could have a bargain with Basil, they could have a bargain for some extended time.
No, but seriously, I mean, I was happy Evan John got a good send-off. I mean, his brothers came down, Roy Stan, as you know, personal friend, and Pat. I mean, his kids were there. They were all there, and it was nice send-off. I mean, all these Cavaliers guys were there. And
He was a
jovial guy. You know, Chana John was when he laughing when he said, well, Evans liked to drink now and then. And the way he said, Evans liked to drink. No, and his own nephew, Branca John, is his nephew. He was there.
I realized that.
But of course, Evans bless his brother.
I realized that.
Father Branca John, his nephew. So
when I look back at Evans, look back at his in cricket. He loved cricket. He loved to train. He loved to field.
Was a brilliant field.
Brilliant, you know. And at the time, it was difficult for him to make Dominic. It wasn't easy. Brothers, it wasn't easy in those days, you know. People can tell you that, you know.
Yeah, well, it was tough. I mean,
when he had trials, it wasn't 44 runs, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Guys scoring runs, you know. And guys would pick their team on the side. They first have the 11, they have their 50 already, you know.
In fact, there was a match you should call after the team was selected against the rest. I remember Pekka LeBlanc, man, making a 70-something runs in the team again. I was in the team. I just made the team, and the crowds you would get in the gardens in those days was something else. I mean, even before I started watching cricket in the garden was something else. I mean, people like Melo. In fact, Dr. Andre sent some information about Melo. I never knew that. I mean, Melo was outstanding. I didn't really see. I never really saw him play. He played maybe in the 60s and so. But from the information Dr. Andre sent, really outstanding.
First of all, he was my name. I mean, so he grew up in.
I'm surprised you didn't know he died.
No, I don't at all. I mean, to say I know him very, very well. With a back boy, you know. He lived in Kenya, not a stone from my home. All right, he left Granby. He and Pierre, they were brothers, a cousin Pierre.
Which one?
Jerome Pierre.
No, very good friends, close.
Very, very, very close.
Yeah.
You know, I remember the days. The guy loved his cricket.
I think Pierre was from Granby as well, you know.
Right, from Granby. And in those days, look, gentlemen, that was the order of the cricket, football, sports was the order of the day. All right.
But you know, guys, there's something we have to talk about, because a lot of people have forgotten. Last Friday, that was the judgment day for Dr. Fountain and Edison James and Leonard Clinton. And it was a wicked act perpetrated by some wicked people in the ministry. They used some policemen, foolish policemen, to come to. We already have a caller. Yeah, let's take the caller. Because we have to talk about that. Good evening.
Yes, good evening to the complete family. You know what I mean? You go always spend your carnival, everything was all right and things.
Yes, I know you had a good carnival. Go ahead, let's hear you.
Okay, well, what happened there now, I just want to say a fast thing. My condolences going out to Evans John, because Evans John was a great man to me. When I was troublesome, he put me to understand the circumstances of life, because Evans John was in this family by the police station, you understand? And ever and children, grandchildren, so it's another family from my family. So I just want to big them up. That is AD, they are bringing all up. More strength, more life. You know, the grandfather gone, but I know you're strong. The family is a strong family. You understand? So I just wishing all you well, and all you lost a great man. Dominica has not seen a lot of great people, you know what I mean? He doesn't recognize the circumstances of them. But Evans John, as a police officer, has everything. For that man has love. You know, but what I'd like in closing, what I'd like about Evans John is this class of drinking. You see, when it's drinking, I don't want to explain too much, but this class of drinking, you know, and you know, he's an expensive man. He's not like Jerome and Melo. He's class of drinker, man. And he not have food there. Evans should never drink and he do have food. Just to go big up to you and your partner, Evans John, people and Nadia and what is his name? My partner.
Yeah, Dr. Fox. All right. Thanks, bro. Thank you.
And Sibo, I wanted to explain now. By seeing the cash and carry.
Anyway, we'll talk about that. Let's move on. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Hold on. We have another caller. Hello. Good evening.
Good evening, Sibo.
Hey, what's up?
I'm cool. And my other partner, Zabia.
Yeah, I'm cool.
Let me tell you something about Melo. Melo, you remember we always used to talk about Mac and Will Fry? It and what every 10 men would come out to Canada and come down. He would come by me just to bring him to see Mac and Will Fry, you know.
Okay.
Every time he come, because you remember they play cricket together. And you always tell me, you haven't seen a batsman. They talk about every year, but you haven't seen a batsman like that had to talk like Mac and Will Fry, you know.
So what you say? You mean Mac and Fry was as good as Irving Chillingford? Is that what you say?
Yes, that's right.
Well, I would have really liked to see that person if you are as good as Irving Chillingford.
You could ask I don't think you could ask Otilus, because he had a spare cut that nobody driver and a spare cut. Nobody never.
But you see, my problem is when I hear people say those things, how many runs did that guy score? I mean, you say he was better than Irving Chillingford, eh?
He makes national trial how many times?
Yeah, that's not, you're not answering the question. That's not the question. The answer. I am asking you. We talk about the better like Irving or good. How many runs did that guy score? I mean, in fact, before you hear people like Kelly Chillingford was good.
That's what people are saying.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, but let's go back to this thing, because this is important. And this thing happened on Friday, and you hardly have heard it on the news. But if it had gone the other way, you would have heard big news, or Dr. Fountain or the judge has said they should go to trial. And you know the wicked part of this thing, you know, the government paying guys. The guys came. Let me what's happening, guys. I was right in the court, sitting on the back of Dr. Fountain. The guy came there on Thursday, right? The defense made their submissions. The prosecutor replied. When the guy finished, the judge said he's ready to rule next day, Friday. No, the guy is asking for postponement. So I suspect this guy, every time they come, probably is a special fee. So the judge said, no. We're going to rule. And you know the guys left Dominica? They left the state and they left a young girl there. So they disappeared. They said that they had a flight at 3 o'clock. And that is the kind of disrespect these people have. And you know, I look at this guy and then he says he's a senior cockler. He says, okay, the Dominica is a democratic country, and people must not by the bullet. You remember Dr. Fontaine? They must come down by the ballot. And he looks back at Dr. Fontaine and I say, here this fella boy saying this nonsense about they mustn't get in power by the bullet and and he's shouting, And the judge had to, the judge was laughing, the judge had to say, but we don't really need that now. If you go to trial, and you can make your submission. But in the disrespect of these people, to leave, they came there hoping that the judge would say, okay, next month I'll rule. The judge said, no, I will have my ruling tomorrow. And they left the state, and the state has a big bill now because they had no charge against these people. They came to court after 8 years, and in a wicked act, caused Dr. Fountain and Lennox and James to spend a whole set of money. What kind of justice is that? My goodness, guy. Dr. Fountain, over to you.
Yeah, I think we are vindicated after those 8 years of real suffering, And as I tell people, and I was relating to somebody what really happened, people don't even know the half of the story.
Exactly.
Because I will tell you, that thing happened I think we had the meeting on a Thursday at the next government headquarters. The Friday night, we were having a meeting in Cassibros, a public meeting in Cassibros, when I got a call. I got a call from someone telling me that the police had just left Roseau to come and arrest me in Cassibros because we were carrying our show live on radio. I said, well, what have I done? Because I didn't know anything about coup or anything like that stuff. I said, well, why is the police going to arrest me for? But I said, well, you see that thing? It is nighttime. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm not taking any chances. So I immediately went underground. I wouldn't say what happened, but I disappeared for 24 hours, basically. So I spent the whole of Saturday. The persons come, gave me food and so on. I switched off my cell phone, completely silent. But I said Sunday morning, but I have nothing to hide. I've not done anything wrong. Exactly. So let me come to town and do my shows. That's what I did. I came into town. I did my show. Coming down to town, somebody called me and told me when they did not find that I was in Cassibros at the meeting, they went to my home. So wrong in my home in Grand Four, woke up my poor dad.
You serious?
Yes. They went to my home in Grand Four looking for me at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well.
Right? But I was not there, obviously. And then, so Sunday, after my show ended at 2 o'clock, as I'm going downstairs, I saw this police jeep. And then all of a sudden, 4 guys jumped out. And this guy approaches me, tells me his name, I can't remember his name now, have long guns. And the guys tell me, you're under arrest for attempting to overthrow the government of Dominica for treason.
Can you imagine that, boy?
I said, but what have I done? He said, yeah, you're under arrest. I said, okay. He said, you have to come with me to police headquarters. So luckily, there was one guy, only one person on that street Sunday afternoon. As soon as the guy saw what was happening, I saw him pick up his phone. So I screamed at him, tell them I'm being arrested. And that is how the news, got out.
Whoa.
So they took me to the police station, and that's where I was interviewed and so on. And the rest, as we know, is history. So that was one aspect of it when I was arrested. And the second time, even when I told them I was coming to Dominica, I told the court the day that I was coming to Dominica, the flight that I was coming on. So they knew that I was coming. They sent this contingent of police officers to the airport. They did not even give me a chance to get my luggage. As soon as I came out of the plane, bundled into a vehicle, taken straight to the police station, where I spent 3 days sitting on a cold hard floor and so on, and all for what, and the police knew all along that I had not done anything. And even when we went to court, in the lower court, they brought 6 so-called witnesses, including the police chief. So when the police chief was asked whether or not I was there that day, the police chief said, I don't know. I never saw him.
Can you imagine?
Another police officer who was there said he never saw me. The police guy who is taking out the pictures came with an album, about a 50-page album of pictures that he took that day. Not one appearance of me in that album. So when my lawyer asked him, but what are you doing there? What he said, well, I was told to come, so I came, But it just showed you the lengths at which these guys were prepared to go, and then not counting the kind of cost and so on that was involved, because every time, and the way they did it, Sibo, like they would set the case in such a way that I could not stay in Dominica. It was not like, okay, they postponed the case to next week. So I say, okay, I could just extend another week.
Right. They put it for months.
Right, they put it for like 6 weeks down the road.
So you have to pay a new ticket.
I have to go back and come back. And with 22 court appearances, you know, and it literally cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Because you could build a house in Brentford, that money.
But of course.
Easily, we have a caller. No, but seriously, this is something.
So it was malicious, but there is something in law called malicious prosecution. I think that fits the bill perfectly. It was malicious. There was never a case. They knew that we never tried to overthrow the government of Dominica.
With a truck, you went overthrow with a truck. Let's take this caller. No, we have to deal with that. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody on the panel.
How are you? You can speak now. You had a good carnival. You okay?
Yes, but I didn't jump.
You didn't dance much. You didn't dance much.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Let me tell you, I want to ask a question, just simple question. I always say I like to learn.
Right.
And I have a granddaughter that I also want to teach. I'm teaching her. You understand? So I would like to know. I don't know if you're Dr. Fontaine. When somebody is arrested for anything at all, right? Who decides that is a case to go forward, or there is nothing there for a case? You understand what I'm saying? Who decides that, Dr. Fontaine?
Yes, that's usually decided by the Director of Public Prosecutions. She would be the one to decide. So the police are the ones that would investigate. They would take whatever evidence they have to her, and then she would decide whether or not to proceed.
DPP.
Yes.
So who decides, you said?
The DPP, the Director of Public Prosecutions, yes.
Okay, anything. Well, the only thing I want to say, the Bible say, what you sow, you will reap. Good night.
But you know, Dr. Fontaine, but you said the DP, you mean that's what's supposed to happen, Dr. Thompson Fontaine. But we all know directions came from elsewhere to do that deliberate act. It was to me, that was a political decision. Let's take the caller. We'll get back to that because this is serious. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sibo. Good evening to everybody.
How are you, lady?
Good evening.
You all right?
Yes, I'm good.
Nice.
All I know, the people in high office that was after this case, they will suffer before they die because people don't do those kind of things there to people. And innocent people. All you don't believe there is a God, there is a God watching all you, waiting. Thank you, wicked state.
You know, these people, I have to say, this was a political trial. The idea for these people felt if they decimate the leadership of the UWP, obviously, UWP will be disarray and they'll continue to plunder and whatever they can get from the state and do as they please and all. It was not wrong.
That's exactly right. It was never about justice. It was always about politics.
Because they knew. But even when the things started in February, when the first came and the judge, you could see the judge realize when the judge said to them, what is the charge? What is the charge? They can't say. You come to court after 8 years and you haven't got a charge for people. And then so obviously they realized, I think these guys knew the Trinidadians. They knew that they couldn't win anything. I think it was just deliberate and wicked, man. I mean, and I find people are talking about that enough. Enough. That is enough to tell these people, go to hell. What they have done is time for you to pack up, to do that to innocent con people. Innocent. Let's take this next caller. Good evening. Hello? Hello? The caller. But you know, what should happen? The question must be asked, how much money has this cost the state? It cannot just go like that nobody knows how much money has been spent to do that kind of wicked act.
And especially, but when you think that this is a country and this case could have been tried by any of our local lawyers.
Correct.
You know, but the brought in guy is trying to fabricate thing, and you saw the man's behavior.
Yes, I'm watching this guy in the court.
So he's trying to make us look like we're common criminals. When my lawyer referred to me as Dr. Thompson Fontaine, he told the judge I should not be addressed as Dr. Fontaine. The judge just laughed. He said, "But that is his title." You know. But it just shows the lengths to which this guy is willing to go.
Good evening. Hello. Hello. Good evening.
Yes, good evening to you, Sibo.
Hi.
You know, Dr. Fontaine, again, I really want to give God thanks and praise for what he did with regard to that matter. I mean, from day one, we know that there was no evidence, and these guys are just spiteful. But Dr. Thompson said moving forward, and I'm really hoping that retribution this is to these guys. And I'm really hoping that you all get some real money because, I mean, this cannot continue. We have to get rid of these criminals and let them face justice, Dr. Thompson. Good night. God bless you. And God bless Dominica.
All right, thank you.
That's a critical point that last caller made there. And I hope you all guys are taking that into consideration. Or you can recover your costs and bring charges for extraordinary expenses. But my main area of concern is that this is another negative economic indicator where we are challenged in meeting our local commitments. And you have a matter of this nature that you fabricated. And you're in the magistrate court with foreign lawyers in the magistrate court. They could use local lawyers. I can understand when you go to the high court.
Well, this one at high court, this one magistrate court.
Before that in magistrate court.
Yeah, before.
If you go to the high court, you get more skilled people to help you. But for a long while, for how many years in the magistrate court, you're spending so much money, on a case that's not going nowhere. And you owe so many people. There are so many unpaid checks at the treasury. There are so many people that the government is indebted to, and they cannot meet their commitments. So why are we wasting all that money?
That's a call. Good evening. Hello?
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you all doing?
Blue, you all right? You recover from the carnival activities? Have you recovered?
Activity. I didn't recover from my knee yet. It's about the carnival activity. I'm sitting and watching carnival.
Okay, then. All right. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I consider that case. You say people haven't spoken about it much. Remember, I was in the heat of carnival. So people have already gotten a break to speak about that issue. And that case there, that's a laundromat that's open between Dominica and Trinidad. At the end of it, United Workers' Party now have to really get to the bottom of that to ask who have the key to that laundromat. And how much Dominica going to get and how much Trinidad going to get. And the lawyer could only speak so in Dominica because he realized Dominicans are Momo. He could never speak so to all in Trinidad. No, he couldn't do that. He know well an oil drum would be somewhere waiting. He could never do that. Only in Dominica they can come and expand themselves. But there's a God. Time will tell. The same way Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood up in that box, they will be standing up in that same box in due time. Time will tell. Master Lambada told us so, yeah?
But hold on. That's not once you finish that color. Yeah, Blue, go ahead.
I said, Master Lambada told us time will tell.
Yeah, you remember, that's true.
So let's wait to see how time will tell. That is why 2025 April is our cutout date. But we're trying hard now to stay there after the cutout date because we realize where we will be standing. Have a blessed day, Baba.
Thank you.
Right,
we have another caller. Good evening. Hello? That caller. But somebody, a very important person in Dominica, just sent in a text saying, Dr. Fontaine, I want you to listen. The UWP has to take this case on the road. And I concur with that person, a very important person in Dominica. UWP has to take. And guys, on Friday, when they make, when I used to pray for the island, if you get up in the morning, if I get up, I wasn't nervous, I wouldn't score it. So most of them, I got up and I waited, I was there at 8 o'clock, long before them. I sat in a corner there and I'm meditating. I'm saying to myself, boy, this is serious because if the judge rules that we have to go to trial, in a trial in anything, you could go to jail.
Yes.
And I was nervous that morning and I'm sitting in the corner. And then when they came in after. All of them came in after. I'm in the corner there and I'm just there waiting. I say, boy, that takes its toll on you. Something like that takes its toll, because you just don't know. You don't know what the hell. Because remember, if that goes to trial, a group of 8 people decide in your fate. If people left, it depends on who that's there.
And who knows what lens they would have gone.
Exactly.
To.
So maybe their bosses up there tell them, well, no, these guys must go to prison. So make sure you all vote yay and not nay. that these fellas are guilty. That could happen. And I was in the corner there, I'm shaking my head. I'm saying, boy. Dominica is a place for people who tell me they can fabricate something like that. Say in a truck, you take over a country with a truck, playing music, and you're arresting people and have them there up and down, and you have no charge at all. And these people have to go through that. No, man. I mean, come on, man. I mean, this can't be right, boss. I mean,
well, the most unfortunate thing here is that we, the taxpayers, have to fund the bill.
Yes, right.
We have to pay the bill. We have to pay the trainees. If no, you don't pay, guys decide they're going to get some retrieval from the situation. We have to pay the bill.
Correct.
And the unfortunate thing is that guys got some interest-free working capital, and they cannot account for $8 billion. And they're saying that matter shouldn't go to court.
Hold on. We have a call on. Hold on. Good evening. Good evening.
Good night, gentlemen.
Good night.
Sibo, I want to ask maybe 2 or 3 questions quickly of Mr. Fountain.
While he's listening to you, go ahead.
Of the responses. First of all, how many witnesses did you have that supposedly were witnesses to this event?
The government had compiled, from what we got, some 65 witnesses.
Okay, how many of the witnesses allegedly said that they saw you or did not see you?
From that 65, there were exactly 3. 3 of the 65 who mentioned me by name.
So you know what that tells me? That tells me that these witnesses, the vast majority of these witnesses, who I believe most of them were police officers, must have been instructed to give evidence to be used in that case. And they were reluctant to do so. They were simply following orders on the day that they were there. They were part of whatever contingent had to be assembled in order to go out there and deal with the situation. And they were told by whoever, by somebody, to give evidence. Because if these guys are giving evidence and none of that evidence is pointing to the person facing the allegation, and these are police officers, then these guys know very well that the evidence that they're giving is a waste of time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they must have been told, instructed to go and give that evidence so that they can go before the court as witnesses. But they know full well that that evidence is a total and absolute waste of time. So that just shows, my friends, that the GPP, who has that responsibility ultimately to make a decision, independent of anybody else, as to whether or not a case should go forward, okay, was somehow not acting in a proper manner, in my personal view. Because if you have so many witnesses and none of the evidence before you is pointing to these people who are accused, then you yourself should know, as a professional, trained lawyer, that this should not go forward. So why did it? And why did it drag on for so long? I mean, come on now.
Thank you, caller.
But the classic in that case, the classic in that case was Joseph Mosopie Isaac. The classic. So that case could have gone nowhere. The guy was charged. He did acrobatics and he was uncharged.
Someone else is saying that, but it would be interesting to find out who are these witnesses. I would like to know if, I'm sure no witnesses came forward. This guy was get guys and tell them, you say this, you say that. And I mean, come on, man. This 60 what some witnesses. These people really, for people to sit down and plan a thing like that, to go and pick, and they're picking selected people,
And see, what the worst part about this is that they claim that we incited people to violence, but not one of the people who so-called created the violence were arrested and charged. Exactly. Not one person that set a little book on that day was charged or broke a window. Not one. Not one.
Yeah.
So how could you say that we incited them to do something that was so bad and so violent, and you did not charge any of them? And yet you're charging us. I'm not even there.
And I watch Mr. James in the box, and I'm seeing he's a man, 80-something years. The guy, what did the guy do to have a man like that at his age in a box, going through that kind of thing, where the man probably having medication to take or whatever. You could put stress and kill the man with something like that. You can die because nobody wants to be in jail. Who wants to go to jail, nobody? Maybe if I go there one day, they might be dead. Afterward, who want to be in a cell? Rats on you.
Well, you for 3 days, and I don't have to go back. Glossiquin.
Glossiquin and an old jacquerie that's stale with butter, and you drink eating that, and rats all on your toe, biting your toe, man. Mm-hmm. Who wants to go in prison? And you could go there for 7 years for people. We have a caller. Boy. They say things are really bad in this place. Good evening.
Hey, gentlemen. Good evening, honorable gentlemen. Sibo and Dr. Fontaine, Randa, and my brother Lobi, and everybody else.
Yes.
I know I don't have been said about that case, but something that struck with me was a comment made by none other than Angelo Charles Savrin. After the incident on the 7th of February, 8 years ago, I heard Angelo Charles Savrin saying that was the worst violence Dominica had ever experienced. And Angelo Savrin, he led an absolute war against the government of Dominica in 1979, made that statement in defense of the abuse of innocent, honorable men. I think so much water has passed under the bridge that we forget that statement, but I have stuck with me. When I hear Angelo Charles Savrin, a man I once respected, make that statement. It's a shame. Gentlemen, there are great things about history. It really exposes the character of men. And it supposed youth also have great character, stamina, and strength under difficult circumstances, absolutely challenging and difficult circumstances. And those persons who have perpetrated this evil against Dominica, not against you all, against Dominica and our democracy, will suffer for it, including Roosevelt, Blackmore. I agree with James. These are the persons behind that evil act, that malicious and frivolous act. Thank you for the great work, Sports Rapman.
Thanks, man.
Yes, indeed.
Laku set lang.
Thank you.
But hold on. Let me read that to you. And that is from a police officer. Listen, hear that. The police, that's coming from a police officer. Steve-O, they had everybody Monbruce training school for days trying to come up with anything to frame up this guy. Did you hear that? That is a police officer that is saying that.
Okay.
Steve-O, they had everybody Monbruce training school for days trying to come up with anything to frame up this guy. The former police officer saying that. That is sending that text.
That is interesting.
The former police officer. And I'll read it again. Steve-O, they had everybody Monbruce training school for days trying to come up with anything to frame up this guy. The former police officer is saying that. Yeah.
Incredible.
Saying that.
And these guys treated me like a common criminal, took away my travel documents, knowing I was going back and forth.
You serious?
Yes, they took my passports. I had to, each time I was going, I had to apply and wait. I missed flights, change flights, because they have my passport in the court, it was just...
Boy, anyway, let's take the final call on that. Then we have to move on. Good evening.
Sibo.
Yes?
Sibo.
Yes?
Boy, they are criminals. Why you tell me you're spending all that money just to crucify somebody? Does that mean either they win the case, they win the election, so they'll have no workers, nothing.
Yeah, it was a calculated thing by this field, calculated and wicked. Anyway, guys, last call on that, and then we move on. Good evening. Okay, let's take our first break, guys. Let's take our first break now. Yeah, cool.
When you want the leg, you do shop at the better than the red. Go shop at the and the other one shop at the you get more for what is there. Shop at the shop at the yeah, shop at the shop at the what is there. Shop at the Yes, family, customer friendly. With free locations, it's so convenient. And our prices, Madam Mystery, that's where you belong. So tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at KCA. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at KCA. Auntie, nan, and cousin, friend, open power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, couple, neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. What? Shop at KCA. Shop at KCA. Shop at KCA. Shop at KCA. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and downtown Rose. The New India Insurance Company has reopened its doors in Portsmouth, offering the same great services you get in Roseau. Motor vehicle insurance, home and business owners, fire and related perils, public liability, and so much more. Come, visit us today for insurance with a personal touch on Bay Street, Portsmouth, or call us at 445-4023. We are ready to serve you. Dominicans, Dominicans, insure your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, insure your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till you flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Yeah. Okay, we're back, and I think we're going to speak some football now, guys. And we have with us the PRO of the Dominica Football Association, Mr. Ebby Lawrence. Good night, my brothers. Good night, sir.
Good night, Mr. Sebastian. Good night to the other members of the panel.
The whole crew is there. The whole crew.
Listeners of Sports Trap.
Yes, you have Dr. Fountain, there's Ronald Landa, there's Lobby. Everybody's there. Everybody.
Yeah, good night to the August panel of Sports Trap.
Well, Ebby, football is starting soon. Tell us what is going on. We don't know. We need to know from you. You're the PRO.
Yeah, presently, well, as one would be aware, the carnival season is over and the dust is settled. Reef Carnival, and it's the season for football. A date was set, but we as the executive will be meeting tomorrow to go over everything, fine-tune the final details as to what will precede this year's league. So we meet tomorrow at 5, and Saturday at 11, we will meet with the clubs so as to tell them where we are and what is to happen come for the next 2025 season. So thus far, the clubs are licensed. The first instance body is meeting as we speak. These are the persons that are putting everything in order. And yes, as soon as everything is ironed out, we will definitely come to the media and give a detailed synop as to what will transpire for the 2025 season. Unfortunately, the Women League is still ongoing, but due to circumstances beyond our control, but nonetheless, that will be ironed out, and we shall proceed accordingly.
Right. So, Eddie, in terms of... Go ahead, Lobby.
Yes, Eddie, how are you?
I'm good.
Okay. Observation. First of all, I am here. I came in, for the carnival season. Move around. I passed by the football house, Eddie, and I was appalled at the state of the playing field. I told myself, when Patrick John was the president, I could never have seen JRC's Park. I mean, no matter who's in charge, this is a field to complement the football house. And it's terrible. It is totally terrible. Seriously, I mean, that is FIFA. There's a lot of money being given to the football right now. And I cannot believe when I pass there looking at the field in that state. The days when I used to be involved in football, that could never happen to look at the playing field in that state.
Which one, the Buffett State ground?
Buffett State ground, That is just, it is terrible. I mean, the
let him answer.
Mr. LeBlanc, you know the policies when it comes to our field. You know the field are owned by the government, and that if in that case would be the Buffett State Development Council. As to what standing orders or memorandum of understanding that we hear with you some years ago, I am not aware. And yes, it's an ISO. And let us debunk that stuff that FIFA is giving lots of money.
Well, of course, because
many people would want to believe that the FA has a plethora of cash sitting and football is not developing. We have to debunk that, because as we go along, we put in programs that the very football institution, which is FIFA, we will automatically assist and come on board with. Read the fields. I wish we could have done. We could do better, because the fields are owned partly by the government. Well, by the government, and the only field we have for ourselves as we speak is that of Stockton Technical Center.
Okay, Eddie, let me tell you, Eddie, I heard you about ownership of field. Eddie, let us face it. I will say it again. You listen to me. You have the president. Yes, you have a body at Buffett State. You have to work hand in hand with them and see what can be done to uplift the field. Because first of all, I was the president, but in football, there's no way I'll ever feel so in that state. It doesn't go all well for football.
Well, it's not going on all well, Robbie, until we all swallow our egos. Right. Because I've been in this almost for a year and some months now, and I must say, when you expect a cordial, harmonious relationship between clubs and the stakeholders, you do not see that. And it's on my part. It's incumbent on me to tell the clubs that, hey, the executive is not just the one running the football. You see something to be done, you apply the much needed pressure on the executive to get it done, because it bypasses Glenn, and that is always my...
Okay, Eddie, hold on a while. I'm just getting a text here. Somebody's saying, and listen well, the field was adopted by DFA years ago. Listen, let me finish reading the text. And the person is saying, and even if the field is Buffett State responsibility, the field is next to the DFA office. That's what somebody's saying.
Oh, okay, Lobby, let's use that instance. You got a piece of land next to my house. Is it my duty to clean it for you?
No, but what I am saying... No,
we have to look at it in the
Yeah, but I just... Okay, here what somebody just saying, the field was adopted. Yeah. Now, listen.
It's not what we combative on this, because I am saying I do not...
No, we're not going to be combative. All the somebody saying it was adopted by the DFA. No,
I don't know that. I haven't seen any paper saying that. That's what I'm saying to you as the PRO. That's what I'm saying. So if that was done, let's come up with it, but I haven't seen it. And if that was the case, we will have to revisit it. That's my statement.
But don't you think, Eddie, that something can be done to get both the FA and the Buffett State, community together to uplift the field?
And not just Buffett State. A lot can be done.
No. I'm looking at Buffett State in particular. All right, because you have a football house. Listen to me. You have a football house. All right, that you have people from overseas can come and enter and look at in terms of looking at the yes, but this to complement. You need something to complement the football house. The field is very important. Neatness, tidiness.
I'm not saying no. I am saying this is the season that we all swallow, or we want to put a better term, our egos. Let's meet on the drawing board together and discuss football. If it's an eyesore to many, the Buffett State Development Committee, if they're in existence, let's meet with the executive and say, look where we are, meet us halfway. I believe if we do so, things can be done. But when people sit and say this and this, you have to be inside this system to really understand the ramifications of it. I wish it could have been better.
But Abby, don't they use that field by football academies every weekend? Isn't that used by different academies?
There is an academy used in the field.
Right.
And
okay. Go ahead.
I know FA pays certain persons on a given.
Okay.
To cut the grass.
Right. So to come to Lobla's point, if the DFA they're the body for football in Dominica, if they're interested in football, academies are using there. Don't you think they at least can make sure the ground is in a perfect condition. If you have little kids practicing there,
that can be done. But if I give you $120 for my child, it's imperative on you to keep the area safe as well.
No, Eddie.
Because safeguarding of the children is supposed to be on the academy's role. Yes, is responsible, but the safeguarding of children is on that of the academy as well.
Let me tell you, let's leave what the field now. Let's look at football. Dominica engaging the women football. What I saw there, Eddie, you have been talking about the brand. I want to see Dominica win. I want to see football, Eddie. And the women football, seriously, what I saw there, Dominica versus Canada. Seriously, I felt hurt. I'm not through Eddie. Because I realized to me, you're just there for 1 year. But I'm talking not like an outsider. I was involved with women football. I was involved for a number of years. Okay, and we were making strides. Because we realized that the football, the girls, you have to do a lot of work on their motor movements. Very important. You don't see girls around skipping, playing the hopscotch and so on. These are very, very important. Your motor movement, able to play sports. And this is the thing that you have to inculcate. The game itself, you don't see girls playing, having sweat like how the boys playing football. All right? So something has to be done. Just know, I'm not afraid. Listen to me. Something has to be done because this what I'm seeing there is not good at all. If FIFA, if the girls are not ready, let's tell FIFA our girls are just not ready. Maybe if not, FIFA might fine you all. But to put that product outside there, for 22 goals, it's not easy.
No, Lobby, it's true the game between Canada and Dominica was one thing. And did we see what Canada did to Trinidad that very final? No, Trinidad is a much more better team than we are.
But hear me, Eddie. Hear me.
No,
I saw the game. Yes. Listen to me.
I want to bring you somewhere.
No. I saw the game. Let me listen, Eddie. I can lose. I can lose 20, but the girls have to show me something. At least they know something. They know the football. But you could see the girls were still in very trained. That a bit different. Our girls looking like they were in the, the game was fun to them.
I'll be honest with you. Much is desired for the women football, and it takes us to really develop, what is there. I mean, most of our athletes, our young athletes, are schoolgirls, and they somehow, and I don't know how we can bridge it. The balancing of the academics versus that of sports. That is something most likely is lacking in our football. The balancing of how to properly balance ourselves. Yes, the tactical and the motor skills is one thing, but I must say now we have in the person of our coach, challenge coach, that is about to help, because as we speak, a curricula is being developed that will really stick now and go through the steps together.
How many teams? How many women teams you have now in the league? How many women teams you have?
Presently, we have 9.
Okay, 9. So how many games would each team play? How many games would each team play?
Each team plays 2.
That is insufficient. At least that is insufficient.
We know that, but remember, I'm saying earlier on, because of school, because of how they work, because some of them are mothers. We have to take into consideration quite a lot of these of the elements regarding women's football. Yes, if we want to see better, we have to go out of the box and most likely have a solid women development program. But we cannot just sit and believe, okay, we get 20, we get 11, but we want to Bahamas. We won. And
okay.
That's important to them. It boosts up their morals. And many would not think like that, but it was a booster to their morals. We need to take from that. We need to take from that and build.
Good. Yes. Some time ago, you came in here with a technical person. How is that technical assistance program going at this point in time?
Awesome. As we speak, awesome.
Awesome.
Our coach.
I like your choice of words, boy.
And I must commend the technical department is the person of Mr. Badwell and Kurt. From the
what's his name? What's his name? The fellow who came. He's still in Dominica.
2 years.
Well, he's been there for 2 years.
Okay, he was mentally organized. You see, he seems to be well organized mentally.
Well organized. And I'm saying it publicly, I may get those points. If we do not capitalize on such a talent, then we're going to be in trouble.
Okay, Abby, while we're asking that, let me ask you a question now. Now that you talk about this thing, you just said that the opening of football is imminent. Is it going wrong? Are teams practicing now? Are you all monitoring that because just before the season? So is the guy going wrong and looking at different clubs practicing?
Well, Ruby, to be honest with you, if we speak in terms of monitoring, I would say we're lacking here. But one of the new features that will be coming up, the PR department, that is, we will be meeting our clubs. That's one thing I want to do, meet our clubs where they are. It may be a little tiring, it may be tedious for me, but let's meet our clubs. Let's hear where their cries. Let's see how we can better market what we have. And this is one of the areas going forward we are going to push in this season.
Eddie.
For example, if Dubla is training on Thursday, I'm just using Dubla, it is Cat Brash. If they are training on a Thursday, we go down to Dubla, we do a few video shots, we sit, we listen to them, and really help them now to shape up and market themselves, not just for the Premier League but that foreign coaches and foreign scouts can see them and really come to the place, because I'm saying, and I lament at it, we got the talent and we cannot deny that. We got the talent.
Eddie, listen to Eddie. Eddie,
how do we harness the talent is another problem. Is a question.
Eddie, has there been any sessions with coaches, club coaches, for example, as I made mention to the coach from Ireland,
yeah.
Ireland. All right. What I would like to see is this.
Ireland, isn't he from Scotland?
Scotland.
He's a Scottish. He's
Scottish. Yeah, you know. So I told him what I would like to see. First of all, our football in Dominica. I spoke about the system. Having a system where players are comfortable playing. All right. And number two, I would like to have him some sessions with the coaches and the clubs in particularly to assist the coaches. Because just now, because football has changed now a lot. The drills, because if you want our players to move to Europe, to USA, it's very competitive right now. Football is very, very competitive. And
very.
Right, yes. And they have to get accustomed to systems, playing in different positions, they have to get accustomed to that. What is there any movement to have the coaches to have sessions with him?
And it's wonderful news that you came up with this. Right now we have a serious coaching department, and it's led by Mr. Egbert John Baptist. The last time we met on Q, I told you all, let's talk football. Just get dedicated is half an hour on your program to just talk football so you will know what is happening. So Mr. Egbert John Baptist, everybody knows him as Eggy, is the head of our coaching department. Presently we have a D license going on. As part of the program that will be coming on, he and Coach will be meeting the coaches of the other clubs. We will continue to develop our B license, our C license, and make our very coaches.
Abby, hold on a minute. Abby, somebody has a question for you. The person told me, the person sent a text saying, as is the situation with the trophy presentation to Jubla, has that been resolved?
Yes, it has been resolved. We've done what we were to do, and when we meet for prize giving, they will receive their official trophy. But we did, as an association, the request that was given to us by Dubla, and we moved on.
Hi, Abby, a question for you. You talked earlier about looking to develop the players and to give them exposure and so on, especially to possible foreign clubs. And so is there a structured program in place where, for example, your DFA ensures that the players have footage? Because I know that anytime you're approaching schools, I've done that in the past, and the first thing they're asking for is footage of the players, and we've had difficulty getting good footage. Is that something that the DFA is paying particular attention to?
Well, if you were listening, I said one of the areas this year we are going to do is to meet our clubs, and we have somebody in place already. When I am moving, that's and I must say I commend those that's the division. When we are moving, we move, and we really try our utmost to get these very footages that you are talking about. So this year, it's in its seeding stages, embryonic stages, but nonetheless, if people give it a chance, we will see blossom and blossom well. Yeah. So I am it's in the embryonic stages of development. It's on paper, it's the execution and the how to get to Kalinishi, how to get to to Grand Fort, how to get to you know the topography of the island, and hence we have to watch it in that tangent.
Yes, you spoke earlier on about meeting the clubs. I remember my early days as a sportsman in Spartans and in Celtic. We had firm club structures. The executive met every week. We had plans and programs. What are you all doing at this point in time to assist clubs, the president, the secretary, the treasurer, to increase on the structure and the development of the clubs around Dominica?
Well, even in this year while we are speaking, this is one of the areas that the club licensing had to take into consideration. A solid executive, solid youth arm for some of the clubs. And one aspect as well is a community outreach program. Football is more than just kicking. We need to give back. We need to now sit and say, okay, I belong to such and such a club. How can this club be a brand that others will see? Because I would say, for example, not that I'm not bashing Dubla, you're going to use Dubla. Tomorrow, God forbid, Dubla is out of the picture. What legacy did they leave? Or who can they point to as the legend of Dubla? Yes, you have the Travis, you have Brielle, and I must commend these guys. Just like in Harlem, we have the Greenaway and the Shop Postings, the legend. How can we develop that? Is by now going to the club. Because listen, there I've been seeing it, I've been watching it. There are some raw talent. But when they reach on the field, the raw talent is choked, for want of a better word.
Okay, Eddie, that's the last question because we have to connect with some of Jerome Melo's daughter. But there's something that CONCACAF has recommended, that executive members shouldn't be a national team that's coaches and managers. Is the DFA going to enforce that recommendation from CONCACAF?
In every jurisdiction, there is what you call prudence and morals. In our jurisdiction, it's no different from the others. We've taken a decision thus far, and it has been working.
So you are going to enforce that recommendation, right?
And not just that, as we are going forward, many other recommendations will be enforced.
So that executive members shouldn't be managers, coaches, whatever. In other words, they probably want to divorce the exec from that. That's what CONCACAF was recommending.
Well, maybe someone might look at it as, it will happen, but I am of the view that...
No, but here this, remember, you all are part of CONCACAF, if they're recommending things, don't you all have to enforce it?
Lobby, I cannot report to myself. Let's get that as the answer. You cannot report to yourself.
You're talking to Sibo, not Lobby. You're talking to Sibo.
You cannot report to yourself. You are a coach, and you belong to the executive. When you send your report, you're sending it back to yourself. So is that ethical?
Okay, Eddie, we have to move on. So we'll speak with you again next week.
I believe next week I will try my utmost to come in person with another person.
Okay. Well, we'll speak during the week. So okay?
We will discuss with the league as we go forward.
Okay.
Nice, and have a blessed night.
You too. Thank you. Very interesting, guys. Yes. So let's take the caller. Let's see what the caller said. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Soon, guys, we'll probably get in touch with Jerome Melo's daughter. Well, nobody didn't know he died over the weekend. In fact, Roy does send me a text. If I knew that, I tell him what I heard so. But Dr. Fontaine, Dr. Andre sent me some information of Melo. I myself didn't realize that. I just read part of it. He said that Melo and Marigot fast bowler Terry James made the Dominica cricket team in 1961. In that year, Melo took 6 wickets for 38 runs against St. Lucia in the first inning. He then took 7 wickets in the second inning. Playing for the Windward Islands in 1965, Melo took 3 wickets for 42 runs. He had Rohan Kanai caught by Irvin Shilling. Here the people he got out. Rohan Kanai caught by Irvin Shillingford. Roy Fredericks caught in the field and clean bowled Clive Lloyd. These outstanding cricketers he got out. In 1966, playing for the combined Windward and Leeward Islands against Trinidad, Melo took 4 for 19 in 12 overs to help defeat Trinidad. In a match against Guyana, he took 3 for 60. In his last match before migrating to Canada in 1967, Melo led the Windward Island bowlers against Trinidad by taking 5 for 52 in 22 overs. Melo played for the National Canadian Cricket Team for 4 years along with Dominica great Val Felix, the younger brother of the late Cardinal Felix. I never knew these things, honestly. I mean, these are outstanding figures, eh?
Wow, that's quite
these are
impressive.
outstanding. Very impressive. I mean, I didn't know that. I mean, you reminded me of Melo and Jerome.
I heard a lot about him.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't. I never.
But I heard a lot about him.
We have another caller. Let's take a caller. Good evening.
Yes, what's up?
Hey, what's up? What's up, boss?
Yeah, I'm
fine. I'm fine. How are you doing?
Yeah, man, good. I listened to the discussion about the football, right? And a couple of weeks ago, I said it, we were looking at results 10 years down the road. Because the way them guys talk, and you see what has happened. And I put the water in my mouth to say that. Those guys, it's like history begins with them.
I know.
These are things that were done in the past. But everything is, they forget what happened in the past. And they believe everything starts now. And that is the pitfall we end up in. Because if we didn't follow up and continue our program, we had great programs.
Well, of course we had great program, Lee. I'm telling you.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
But Lee, you're right. We were right on track.
Yeah, and I keep saying I'm not knocking any license or any whatever. We have too many licensed coaches. I mean, not seen any results. That's what happened, everything is a license. But then that's not been translated on the field because look at, as he said, them guys, and then when they get on the field, everything mash up. Something is definitely wrong. It's just like in the classroom, whole year, you have first term, second term, and the final exam, you crash. There's something wrong.
But Lee, listen to that. Lee, I asked the man a question about the playing field. Let us face it. If you tell me that you have a football house and there's a field next to it, and you tell me the field in that state, and you're focusing about the community responsibility, that to me is ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, man.
I don't know what they focus. Honestly, I don't know what they focus.
I'm telling you, man. I would ensure that field, Sebastian, would always be, playable.
Yeah, I agree. I totally
to complement that building.
What I could say is that what they're talking about now, looking at 10, 15 this long road. But we'll be way behind.
Of course, we will be behind.
We're going to be way behind. Even at the women level, I mean, it's not no women football going on. And if now they're talking about getting this done and getting that done, we're talking about 10, 15 years down the road.
Nobody women
over the school. Way behind. With about people working. With Babylon likes and manage to train and can play football and play hard football, good football. So this, I don't know, but something not right.
Okay, boss. Thank you. All right.
Martin, man, yeah.
Right. Thanks. Okay, guys, we have with us on the line. I mean, Miss Amelia Forbes. I think that's the name in Canada. That's Jerome Melo's daughter. Good evening, lady.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Well, Dr. Fountain is with me, Ronald Land and Low Black. That's the panel here. Now, tell us, we heard that Dr. Jerome Melo died last week. Is that a fact?
Yes, he passed on Friday, late Friday evening, complications of vascular dementia.
So was he ill for a while?
Of course, we're kind of putting all of the pieces together now, but we suspect Dad was battling high blood pressure for some time.
Okay.
I think he knew, but I don't think we, as a family, traditional West Indians tend not to share when they get a diagnosis, and so I think he was aware of his high blood pressure, but I think for a while he tried to treat it without taking drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And so it went unmanaged, and everyone knows how much he used to walk a lot when he was in Dominica. I think one of his good friends, Felix, here in Edmonton, came by last night and would share that Dad would walk 5 miles a day. Like every morning he would just walk.
Mm-hmm.
But over time he would fall. Like he would take a lot of falls. And Dad is not one to lose his balance. He's in top shape. He's always been in good shape. But speaking with the doctors as Dad declined, we suspect that the falls that he was taking was mini seizures from the side effects of the high blood pressure not being managed. And so over time, the high blood pressure becomes self-induced to the vascular dementia, which is when over time you lose blood and oxygen to the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And it worsens over time to the point that you begin to get increased seizures, strokes, because again, you're no longer getting or receiving oxygen to the brain.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, it impacts your mobility, your cognitive function, and complicated with an underlying heart condition as well.
Mm.
So he was in hospital in 2022. He had a pacemaker
Mm-hmm.
put in, and 2023 we noticed a steady decline, and that's when the doctors had declared to us that it was self-induced vascular dementia. And December of last year, things again took another turn in terms of, I guess, increased stress and strain on the heart, and passed on Friday.
So, will you be burying him in Canada, or you're taking the body home to Dominica?
Sorry, say that again.
Will he be buried in Canada, or you all be taking the body home to Dominica?
So the plan is we will be holding a funeral services for him March 17th, 1 p.m. in Edmonton, Alberta. But because he is, well loved in the sport, my hope is to have a memorial service for him in Toronto, and then have a tribute to him in Dominica, and we will bring his remains back for a tribute service.
Okay. Let me ask you though. Obviously, you would not have seen your father play. Did you all discuss cricket at all?
Oh, I saw my father play a lot.
Oh yeah? No, I'm talking about in his heyday. I'm not talking about when he's retired. I'm talking about when he actually played for Dominica. Did you see him play?
Oh no, I wasn't.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah, no. I was not born. I just.
Well, exactly. That's why. But did you all discuss? Did he tell you about his exploits in the 60s and 70s? Did he tell you about it?
He did a lot. But when you're young, and I have to be honest, I mean, I don't think I gravitated to how grandiose he was in the sport, because you're young, you're a child. You don't really recognize or even acknowledge the influence he had on the sport. I think it's as I got older, and when I went to the book signing, and I'm sure Dr. Andre's listening right now, that's when I guess I'm a little bit humble, because I guess in my older years, it's only late. And I even said to Dr. Andre at the time that I wanted to give Dad his flowers when he was here. And the plan was to, do a documentary, just to basically amplify the good work that Irving Andre did in terms of this book. So it kind of feels, excuse me.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I know you're probably emotional. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's tough. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. Let's take your time, darling. Take your time.
Yeah.
Take your time. It's tough. I mean,
he loved the sport.
Mm-hmm. Take your time.
This was his thing. This was what he loved. He loved to be celebrated in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to be acknowledged. He wanted to, what athlete wouldn't?
Exactly.
Wanted to be recognized. I understand, when you are an athlete and you work so hard, he didn't do it for the likes like Facebook and social media, because there wasn't any of that back then, right? There wasn't any. He just loved the sport, and so I think now that he's passed, I'm happy for the work that has been done to capture his good works. And it's so funny. I typed in his name into artificial intelligence, and I typed, well, who is Jerome Melo to the sport of cricket in Dominica? And it spewed out, right? It spewed out all these beautiful highlights. And so I just, I want to do him right by. We're gonna say farewell to his community of friends here, all the way out in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to do something for him in Dominica. I don't know when that's going to be. I haven't even thought about that yet. But I know my mom and my sister, we agreed that we should bring his remains back and have something formal in the form of a tribute. What that looks like, I don't know, but I am committed, and I'm putting it on the air that I will do this for him.
Okay.
Yeah, I trust that the chairman of the Sports Council and the president of the Dominica Cricket Association is listening to you. So whenever you're bringing his remains back to Dominica, we can have a ceremony where we can celebrate Jerome Melo. I never saw him play, but I heard a lot about him and his exploits and how he was so excellent a fast bowler. And I'm very happy that he was able to do so much work for us in Dominica. And you had a good relationship with him. And we can celebrate his achievement, not only in cricket, but as a father to you in Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, thank you. I do. I would appreciate, because I probably have to be on the hip of Dr. Evan Andre, because I don't.
Yes. We need to comment
I would know
Andre
the first
too.
thing about how to who to go to. I know Kentish is also Tom's Kentish is also a family member, and so I am just navigating through people who would know what to do, who to call, but I just know I couldn't bury him here. I'm not going to bury him here. He loved cricket. He loved Dominica. And he did an Instagram post. Maybe I'll share it somehow, where he says that he wanted to recognize for the good work that he did in cricket and for the people of Dominica, and that's how I want to recognize him. So that's what I would do for him. What I will do for him.
Very good. Very good.
No, I was I was lucky to have seen your father play cricket in Dominica. Great. He lived very close to me, and the Windsor Park, in those days, like Melo, name was, he was there on the field. I saw Melo, in the Windsor Park playing for Dominica, in the Botanic Gardens playing for Dominica. And in the heyday of cricket, you had, Dominica was strong, and I could recall, a song. You had Bowl,
Melo,
Rise Cap. It shows that, that this combination between the fast bowler and the wicket keeper. All right, and his name was, seriously, Melo was a very, very known, well-loved individual. He loved his cricket. He was no easy fast bowler. Even when he returned to Dominica, we met most times at the Roseau Market, and we discussed cricket. Because and he wasn't happy what he was seeing. He's saying, with the next generation, guys must realize, it's hard work.
Was he a massive fella, Lobby?
Well built.
Okay.
Well built. You're talking Melo was well built, naturally built, strong guy. And he took his training serious.
Bugwabe.
Seriously, he was a hard hitter. Yes, a hard hitter of the ball, and he would encourage us, in the Windsor Park, gives a lot of advice, young guys coming up on bowling, batting, take the game serious. And he loved his game. And listen to me, when Dominica won, I remember when we won that championship, and you had this celebration. We had this local, we call that Lapo Cup, with, you had drums and drums beating away. And we people singing that song from, look, left the gardens,
Bowl Melo,
Melo, Melo, yeah. And that, look, the Lapo Cup with, and Dr. Fountain is sounding away, and this massive crowd, left the gardens, and going down into the city. It was great.
But young lady, I think that if you can work with Dr. Andre, he's a very formidable man, to arrange some activity in Dominica where we can recognize and celebrate Jerome Melo for all the contributions he's made to sports in Dominica and the Windward Islands. That would be very good.
But before you came on, I read some statistics from Dr. Andre, and they're very interesting reading, excellent reading. I mean, when you read and the people he got out, I mean, the outstanding cricketers. So obviously he had some sort of pedigree. I mean, he had to have
seriously,
the father. But in fact, Mike Finley, who played for the West Indies, called me over the weekend, and he played with your father.
Right.
And do you know George Carrington? Would you?
Yes, I do. I know him as Uncle George Carrington.
Okay, right. So George called me as well. I didn't realize he was in Dominica, and he told me about Melo Pass, and I think it's he who called Mike Finley in St. Vincent. So I spoke to both of them, and that's how I found out. In fact, Ronald and I were in a funeral today. We spoke to a gentleman, Henry Dyer. Bob, he's a lawyer. Have you heard of him? Do you know of him?
Wait, sorry, say his name again.
Henry Dyer. He's an attorney in Dominica, because he would know a lot about your father. But in fact, he promised to call us at some point tonight, so he would know. But somebody just sent me a text, and what the person is saying, the person was saying that that it is important that Dominica needs to have a sports museum, so people like that could be highlighted, because the person is saying they never heard of your dad, and we are not like you all in Canada. You're fortunate that people who are outstanding sportsmen, people will know about them because they have museums, but we don't have that right here in Dominica.
Right. And I think I think there's a lot of good work to be done to capture a country's national treasures, if you want to call it that. So if this is going to spawn that movement, again, we didn't have the Facebook and the Instagrams back in the day and the YouTubes to capture and highlight all of the accomplishments. And I think Dr. Urban Andre is doing a good job, an amazing job, by starting it with this magnificent book. But we know how we are always reading books now. It seems like a foreign type of activity. So it would be nice to have a museum where we can acknowledge the upcoming talent and keep them as forever treasures, as opposed to relying on a radio show or a book, or unless if no one dialed into this show today, they wouldn't have known and read some of the highlights from Dr. Urban Andre's book and who he was. So it would be great if we can commit to this activity and build up a museum.
Yeah.
If it's sports, if it's art, if it's in all different areas. If you want to start with sports, then let's do that with cricket and soccer or football.
Okay, so what we will do, through Dr. Andre, we'll keep in touch with you. So whenever you're planning to come down, we will see how we get in touch with you. You can always come to the studio, and we will speak again. It was really nice speaking to you, and I hope, I know it's tough. It's for you now. You've lost your dad. It's a tough time, but you need to stay strong and stay strong for your dad. I'm sure that's what your dad would have wanted. So on behalf of the guys, just want to say thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you for this time as well.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. That's not. But it was really nice speaking to her. I mean,
it was great.
Yeah.
And see, when the meantime I pulled up his stats, he actually played 7 first-class matches.
Right.
And he took 22 wickets at an average of 23.45 and
good.
1 5-wicket haul.
Wow.
So a short playing career, but
not bad. Yeah, there was talent there. I mean, talent there. And obviously, all of us grew up hearing about Melo. Melo, Pierre, Irving Chillingford, Val Felix. I never really saw it. We have a caller. Maybe it could be Bab's calling. Maybe if because he from. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Sibo.
Hello, Sir Lufa. Yes.
Okay, I want to tell my condolences to the young lady.
Yes.
I saw Melo in the botanical gardens of Saturday. I call on behalf of Mr. Good night, Mr. LeBlanc and Dr. Pongvin.
Good night, brother.
Now, Sibo.
Yes, sir.
It is good to have Mr. LeBlanc, Emmanuel LeBlanc, in the studio. Mr. LeBlanc has been saying for years, program after program, the best thing we need in Dominican football is fitness. And most of the time when you see Dominica go out and they lose, it's because they're not fit. Thank you very much.
Okay, Sir Lufa. There's another caller. Because Babs had promised to call. Maybe it could be him. Yeah, but
Hello?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, but like I said, but you know, it highlights the thing that where a lot of people don't know about former cricketers or former footballers or former basketball because there's nowhere you can go and see pictures of them, nothing. And that is something that needs to be done in Dominica. That's
and that can be done at the stadium.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We
have another caller. Good evening.
Yeah, Sibo. Sibo.
Yes, Marlene.
Good evening to you all. Melo, Jerome Melo.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great player. He used to play at the Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
It was Melo, Cream, Rice, Augustus, Gregoire, and Pierre. So the song was Melo, Cream, Rice, and Pierre.
Mm-hmm.
You understand?
Right.
We had, as you say, Fibo, they should have pictures of great players.
Mm-hmm.
The great players were people like Sebastian, Irving Shillingford, Grayson Shillingford, Atama.
Clem John Atama.
And all them others, great players. Melo was a very, very well-known, good player. And I tell you, all the ladies, they were dying for him because he was great. So my deepest sympathy go out to the young lady passing away of your family. I close in my eyes and I see him now. Lobby, all what you say is true. Is history, my brother. And Fibo, they should have the pictures of all these great players. Oh, Milado, thank you very much.
Anyway, please don't talk about what you and Landa used to do. I'm warning you. Don't talk on the radio what you and Landa were doing, okay? I'm warning you. All right, Marlene. We have any more callers? You see the lights going.
He had good taste, you know.
No, well, he probably was a talented guy.
Very
because,
good. Well, listen,
as I said, I never really saw him play.
Yeah,
and I never saw him.
No.
But his statistics, that's what Dr. Fountain read. I mean, not bad. Not bad. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sibo.
Hey, what's up, man?
I'm fine. I'm giving good evening to your guests, Dr. Fountain, Ronald, and Lobby. Lobby, I hope you enjoy the carnival. And,
yes, I had some good moments and some bad moments on the football, brother.
You asking the obvious. You're asking him.
Lobby, yes, gentlemen, I wish to extend condolences to Melo's daughter. Was she the only child?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't go into that. I mean, I spoke to her through Dr. Andre. I don't even really know the young lady. I don't know.
Okay, like Lobby, I was privileged to see Melo play at the Gardens. At the time, I didn't know anything about cricket. All I know is that I wanted to bowl as fast as that guy because I think he had serious pace.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes Jerome Pierre on the other side. Jerome Pierre was like now I know about cricket. Jerome Pierre was like medium fast compared to Melo when both of them were bowling.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's something I wanted to pass by you, but I don't know if I should wait when you're on the cricket section.
Well, we are on the cricket, but I'm going to give the scores of the round that started yesterday, and of course we're going to discuss the Champions Trophy. The final is on Sunday. We're going to talk about that, obviously. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Sibo. Because I was watching Windward's Leewards today.
Right.
I didn't watch yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering, what is the Leeward Island selectors thinking? They have Cornwall on the Leeward team, and the captain as captain of Leeward.
Well, he looking like he even weighed more pounds now. From what I saw today on the field, he got big. Seriously, he got bigger. What I saw, seriously, he looked horrible, man. Honestly. Cornwall.
And I see here Louis batting, and so where they could run to. Louis has to be jogging because Cornwall can hardly take one run. And finally, Sibo, a lot has been said about the young, talented Indians.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to hear your take on Zadran and the New Zealander. What's his name?
You mean Ravindra? Yashindra?
Ravindra.
That guy looks like a talent, man. He looks like a real talent.
Three of them, how I forget the other one.
Which one? Shubman Gill?
It is three of them. That's not Indians.
Oh.
Yes, Zadran,
Ravindra,
and August.
Ibrahim, is it Ibrahim? Which one?
Ibrahim Zadra.
Right, the one from that is Afghanistan. And then you have Rajendra from New Zealand, who really is Indian.
Okay, I can't remember. When I remember, maybe next week.
All right.
Next week I will call. Okay. But it's pathetic to see Cornwall on the team, and Cornwall captaining Leeward.
Jimbo. Well, I can tell you, when I was a selector, we got plenty pressure, man. Pressure to pick Cornwall. We never yielded. Yeah.
Cornwall captaining Leeward.
Yeah, Cornwall. Cornwall should be a cricket player. And I remember saying that to Vivian Richards, where once you were speaking, Anthony gets all this. And I said, Bullers, you never would. Cornwall couldn't be in the field if you were. I remember telling him that. He laughed. He didn't answer the question. But I knew Cornwall couldn't be in the... And then when they were putting pressure, we must pick Cornwall. Cornwall what? Cornwall should be cricket. Anyway, let's give listeners the score for people who haven't followed. Let's start with the Windward Islands, because the Windward Islands before yesterday struggled. The Windward Islands today made 480, may say. 480. And Descartes made his... Two guys had made in century. Descartes 119 and Ryan John 109. For Leeward Islands, Ocean Thomas took 66. But here is Azari Joseph, none 408. Azari Joseph, none 408.
Yeah, he struggled.
Yes. And then also Denver batting at number 10 with 75 not out.
Right.
75. Denver, the off spinner. The Leeward Islands at the close of play, 165 for 7.
How much Tyson got?
Hold on. Louis on 82 not out. Tyson has 4 for 31. 4. And Ryan John has 3 for 21. So the Windward Islands right on top after the second day of play. We don't know what will happen. They will enforce the follow-on. I think they should, because you're looking for points. So if they would bowl the Leeward for 200, I think they should go back and bowl. Unlike Guyana now.
Before you go on there, Windward was batting 58 for 4.
That's correct.
That's correct.
And they went on to score 480.
Brilliant.
And you've got to talk about Benjamin, who stayed and stabilized. He didn't get many runs, but he stayed and stabilized the batting for the other fellas to come around and score runs.
Yeah, but also, we talking about, but we must speak about two other guys. They better be very careful. Kevin Hodge and Ali Kafanaz need to be careful. And I'll tell you why they need to be careful. Barbados playing CCC. The CCC made 262. And you must have seen the guy here, the opener Damian Eveling, who made 50-something and 40-something. He made 110. And then here it is, Roston Chase took 5 for 70. These are now, Sammy is interested with the coach in picking some of the white ball guys. Now, Barbados replied the 428. Roston Chase made 122. So that is why I'm saying our guys need to be careful. Very, very careful. In the other game now, Guyana made 339. Anderson, second again, a young batsman, second century for the season, 116. Odin Smith took 5 for 68. And Jamaica were bowled out for 44. Extras, the highest scorer with 17, and Guyana batting again were 50. In fact, Guyana didn't enforce the follow-on. Wow. They were 50-something for 1, but for 2 bowlers bowled them out. Mohammed took 6 for 17, and what's his name? Niall Smith, 4 for 24. And in the other game now, here it is, Trinidad 304, Joshua De Silva, his third successive century, 124, and the Academy 162 for 5 at the close. Now, seriously, guys, I mean, Kevin and Alec need to buck up. Because, we have to come to the Champions Trophy. These guys, both of them playing shots. Virat Kohli made 84 with 56 singles. 84 runs with 56 singles. And his strike rate was still 90-something. So I saw this guy playing all kind of shots yesterday. Stay at the wicket and bat because people making runs.
Yeah.
So when they come to pick the team for Australia, and you could have difficulty. Yeah. Kevin made 100 in the first.
Well, he has 100 at least.
Yeah, but he hasn't scored anything since that time.
Well, it's only 2 games he played.
Yeah, but men making runs.
Yeah.
They're making runs. But guys have to be careful.
But it's making a valid point.
You have to be careful.
Gentlemen, a valid point. I have spoken to those guys already. You have to understand that You have to pick don't let guys pick, you have to score runs, but it's scoring performance. Don't forget about the other guys. The last 2 seasons of regional championship. Look at this season. This season, one of the best you've had for a very long time.
Yeah.
This is one of the best seasons we've had for
plenty runs.
Not runs, centurions.
Yeah, well, that's about plenty runs, centurion runs.
And I think Louis picked himself. He talked about picking himself. I think
last year,
this time with that innings that Louis played today. Because remember they were falling all around him, and he's still unbeaten on 82. I think he's raised his hands for the selection.
Nobody, the guys must understand that you must know what's happening. Complacency. See, these 2 guys, you have to score runs. You have to be consistent. Guys are scoring runs. Let's not say, man, about the silver, about the age is scoring runs.
Guys have to be very careful. That's all I will say.
Yeah. I think they have to be very careful and they have to perform. But we have the opportunity to recognize and celebrate them, Kavimoj and Ali Kafanas, and we didn't do that. We didn't get the critical support, and Dominica did not surround themselves and give them the critical support they require, and then recognize that the whole of Dominica is behind them. So they got some serious challenges now. We other players, Pascal was getting a good start, but he's falling apart. Recent Benjamin has been coming on, and they spoke about Tyson. When the guys played the last game in Dominica and we had a big break, we could have a function, the sports council, the sports division, the Ministry of Sports, to recognize those players and show them that Dominica is critically supporting them. Because you have players like Jason Mohammed, you have Gore, you have Blackwood, Drakes, fellas are scoring runs. And we need to give our players, those 2 players, especially after their exploits in Pakistan. They were West Indies team. We never had 2 Dominicans playing for West Indies. Premier team.
Hold on. Hear what you just said. The exploits in Pakistan. You don't want to use that word. Let's take this call. We'll come back. Careful with that word. When you say exploits.
Afanas in Pakistan scored 50-something runs. And even your boy Lara spoke highly about him.
Yeah.
Spoke highly about
50-something runs and you bat 4 innings and didn't score again. That's not exploits.
But you won. You draw a series in Pakistan. That was just happened for 50 years. And you were part of the team.
Anyway, let's take the caller. Good evening.
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Hello?
Yes, good evening. We'll listen to you.
Yeah?
Babs, what's up?
Yeah. Babs.
What's up, man?
Yeah.
How do you feel? How do you
Good, we're good, Babs. We're good.
I called in when I heard the statistics given about Melo, which was very true. The statistics given about his forwards in fast bowling. And this man, one of the things I remember though, that when he played for Dominica, and Terry James was the other fast bowler. And remember Dominica playing in St. Lucia. And there was a problem with the St. Lucian used the SMG ball or something. There was a big, and Terry James and them came back and cleaned up the fellas, man. Jerome played a lot of cricket for Dominica. He was a very strong built fella, very strong built fella. And he could bat also. This man, he would come down starting at number 7 and he would show that he...
You mean he batted so high? He batted so high, number 7?
Yes. But then he left and then he played for the Windward Islands and the Combined Islands and then he went up to Canada. I remember when he came up to Canada, I had gone up to Canada already. And I tried to get him because I was captain the Commonwealth Cricket Club in Canada after playing in the Victoria Park Cricket Club. But when we came up, I was trying to get him for the Commonwealth, but he went to Alberta, and we were in Toronto, so we never really did get in touch with him. But since he retired, he came to Dominica, and we were in touch, man. He was very concerned about cricket in Dominica, and even at when he came back to retired and so on, he felt that he could have done a lot in helping coaching young fellas in fast bowling and whatnot. But when you retire, fellas discard you, that kind of thing. But he bought a nice property. He was living at Wall House, and he used to go and come back and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I not too long ago, I met him about a month ago. He called me. I spoke with him, so we had been in touch. And so I want to sympathize with his family. He loves his children. He loves his children to adoration, man.
Mm-hmm.
He wants them talking and so on.
Mm-hmm.
And I just hope that, we'll do something. I think it was Landa who said that they should have something to commemorate this man when he in Dominica. And I think, that's the thing that we shouldn't just discard players, man. Whether it's football or cricket, when we try to, they should be, we should. Like I was happy to see at least we had a good stand-up for Evans John today.
Yes, very true.
And, Evans John, it's finished. Evans John started as a boy when he school, get me, when he was a plumber surveyor. When we were building the line, we were road, and the Castlewood Road there, Poncas, they had the camp there. And and pensioning for it sort of related to him,
and sanctioning for it is first cousin. There are two. His mother is Einstein's aunt. The first cousin.
James Nosey and so on, and he grew up, and Evans John came and became a policeman. I think he went to Hendon School in England.
Correct. That's true. Correct.
And do you know that when they had a dread problem in Dominica and so on, Evans John was one of the that is leading the squad.
Well, Evans John was a real policeman. Babs, hold on. Evans John was a real policeman, unlike what we have now, where policemen are willy-nilly arresting people in their beds, doing all kinds of police. But Evans John was a real police. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, man, and he was inspector of police and so on, and he made a worthwhile, he has made worthwhile contributions to the country, and we need to recognize this.
What about Grenada? What he did in Grenada? After the revolution in Grenada?
When I see what he has done with his life in Dominica, that kind of recognition was not there, that kind of thing.
Yeah, man. Babs, thanks very much. Thanks very much for joining us. Thank you, man.
But as I said, I sympathize with Melo, and I hope that you will have a very good service a service for him, so that you can recognize him.
Yeah, but what I said to the doctor, through Dr. Andre, I've been in touch with her, so it's Dr. Andre that arranged everything so that we could join her. So whenever she's ready, so we will be in touch with her.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Babs. Thanks. Yeah, on that note, we take a break now, guys. We'll take a break now. Thank you, Babs. Thank you.
I'm seeing that he actually played an Australia tour match.
Yes, right.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Where was that match played?
I'll get the stats, but he played in that tour match against Australia.
Okay.
In 1964.
Yeah. I never really saw him
Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects. When you want the leg, you do shop at SDA. Better than the red, go shop at SDA. And they often wear shop at SDA. You get more for less, shop at SDA. Shop at SDA, yeah, shop at SDA. Shop at SDA, what is that? Shop at SDA. SDA's family, customer friendly. With free locations, it's so convenient. And our prices, Madam, That's where you belong. Oh, tell your mama, tell your papa, shop at SDA. Tell your son and your daughter, shop at SDA. The men and cousin friend, open power, all of them. Grandma, grandpa, couple, neighbor, girlfriend, boyfriend, side. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Shop at SDA. Check us out at Pottersville, High Street, and Downtown Rose. The New India Insurance Company has reopened its doors in Portsmouth, offering the same great services you get in Roseau. Motor vehicle insurance, home and business owners, fire and related perils, public liability, and so much more. Come, visit us today for insurance with a personal touch on Bay Street, Portsmouth, or call us at 445-4023. We are ready to serve you. Dominicans, Dominicans, insure your property, protect your property. You homeowner and businessman, protect your property, insure your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till your flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business running out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season. Insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
As we come on again tonight, let me commend AC Shillingford for sponsoring the Sports Trap program. And the Sports Trap program is very popular. Around the carnival season, I was walking around, and all I move around, people will tell me about Sports Trap. Local Dominicans and foreign Dominicans are saying how they enjoy Sports Trap so much. So I'm saying to other sponsors, this is a very, very good medium for advertising your products. So please come on board. Good night, Julie. Julie, I hope you're hearing me. I miss you for the carnival.
Right. Guys, the Champions Trophy final. First of all, let me say, apart from West Indies, I support India. I'll say it openly in cricket. Virat Kohli to me is like, what I'll say now, I mean, I don't think it was Vivian Richard, but I think, with the greatest one-day batsman of all time. Play easily. There's nothing. But honestly, it is wrong that not manipulate. It's not they're not manipulate. It is wrong for in a global tournament that one country should have the advantage of playing the matches in one location. That is very wrong.
That suits the bowling.
Now again, is money talk, because you have a madman in America doing all kind of nonsense. They think they have might, so they can. Because how do you let in there? And if because of the team they have, the spinners, they're playing on surfaces which suits them, and it shouldn't be. Now here is it. The final is on Sunday in Dubai. Pakistan is the host of the tournament, of this tournament. The Champions Trophy is supposed to be played in Pakistan. And it is very wrong. As I say, I like India, but I don't know how. In fact, I saw Viv asking the question, you would like the ICC to come and explain. But it's a simple thing. It's money, the television rights. If India weren't in the tournament, it would be a failure. They had no money. The amount of money they're making from television rights. But it is wrong that one country should play all the matches, but it's going to be a cracking match, I think, on Sunday. India, New Zealand, Sunday morning, 5 o'clock.
But you're the connoisseur on cricket. I have a lot of respect for it. But whatever happened to Australia cricket? The depth of Australia cricket?
No, well, okay, again, you remember when Dr. Fountain was talking about the young guy that played in the last 2 test matches? I didn't rate him at all. I felt, what's his name again? The opening batsman. I even forget. Huh?
Louis?
No, the Australian opening, the youngster that was just slugging there. As I said, that guy can't defend anything. But Australia, to be fair, all their free frontline seamers are not there.
Yes, but not about the depth.
You're talking about the bench. That is the difference between them and India.
Very much.
Yeah, the bench.
Very much. You're not penetrative at all. The ball is not penetrative at all.
Well, that's the
India was
difference.
beating the batting all the time, beating bats all the time, but Australia just was not there.
Well, I saw Steve Smith has retired now. He's played his last ODI. He's retired.
Yes.
Yes.
So the Champions League has not been very consistent. That's just the ninth time that it's been played.
Yeah. West Indies won it in 2004, I think. 2004, when Brown and what's his name? Ian Bradshaw in the dark list. They had that thing in the dark list in 2004. West Indies won it. Yeah.
Australia has won twice.
Yeah.
And India has won twice as well. New Zealand won in 2000.
Yeah, but it'll be a cracking game. I mean, you look at Rajendra, that guy is something else.
And he's even bowling now.
Yeah. And then, of course, Kenny Williamson. Yes. Great batsman is.
But I'm going with New Zealand winning.
On Sunday, well, yes. I know I'll live back in there. I just feel. I mean, the king of, how I say it, the king of chase, the king of the chase. It's difficult to bet against him, eh? But again, guys, I wish our young friend watching that. Here is a man who scored 84 runs with 56 singles. 56 singles. He decided, well, I'm the anchor. I'm not taking any chances. Just push the ball around. And so I wish our young fellas would say, boy, let's put away all the fancy shots. Let's try and build an inning.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things that has contributed to the success of Kohli, you understand that, is a fitness fanatic, number one. Look at his physique presently.
But the mind lobby, don't discount that. Don't discount the mind lobby.
Yes, listen to me, brother.
Don't discount the mind at all.
The fitter you are
preparedness.
Yeah, listen to me.
You fit, but if you're not mentally prepared,
yes, let me talk to man.
The problem.
Let me talk to brother. Let me talk and tell you. Let me talk. The fitter you are, is the better you concentrate in sports, brother. That's now. I'm talking about experience. I'm talking about coaching as a person who has trained for years. When you fit, you can move a mountain. You look at Kohli, physique. Look at Kohli physique. He has bigger shoulders, his arms, all right? And he's a fitness fanatic. He will turn a 1 into a 2, a 2 into a 3, a 3 into a 4, a 5 and 6. And look at how he plays his cricket. He's the level of India years ago. All right? You know what they have done in India? They have a national gym. There's a gym. And fitness is a key.
No, they have the National Cricket Center in Bangalore. That's what it is. In fact, it's right outside this thing. When you go to the place, well, I spent a lot of time there. It's right outside, and that's where everything, they have state-of-the-art stuff. When people injured, that's where they go. In Bangalore, and Bangalore produced a lot of outstanding players. Remember people like Vishwanath, even Rahul is from there. Rahul Dravid is from there. All these players, Chandrasekhar, Venkat, Prasanna. So that's where it is in Bangalore.
But Landa, yes now, when you look at Dominica, you look at Dominica's strength, Dr. Fontaine. Look at the quality of players. You know what happened? He's talking about brain. All the guys knew Windsor Park was the headquarters. Windsor Park was Windsor Park Gardens. St. Joseph. Go down Melo. Cricket was played 24/7. And we had test players long ago.
Which test players we had long ago?
In Dominica?
Which test players?
I guess the point.
Which test players we had long ago? I appreciate your point about fitness. Which test players we had long ago? Call their names. Call their names. But I appreciate the point about the fitness. But you need the balanced approach. You need to be physically fit and mentally fit, mentally prepared.
It comes hand in hand.
Everything. Yes, you're correct.
Listen to me. How much of this training you
No, it's not mental. Everything is mental. It's not,
The fitter you are, is it better you can concentrate. I'm telling you about that. Listen, you're playing, you can concentrate. You work in your fit. It's very important. Look, years ago in Dominica, you'll see, in the morning, you see sportsmen running, doing this. You don't see anything like that these days. You don't see that at all. You're looking around Dominica, you come in asking about where the footballers, where the guys running. Sure. Nothing has been done. Look, nothing. You see Hodge. I could recall Hodge when Hodge was studying in Barbados. When this young man comes out, to Dominica, he alone. I was like, but don't you bring other guys with you? The guys would be doing, he's on training. You have to train.
Good evening.
Yeah, what Lobby was saying is true, you know. You in the morning we get up around 4:30, 5 o'clock. We run around 10 times around the Windsor Park before we can play again. You understand? So all what he's saying there is true, my brother. And you see with Lobby, for donkey years, Lobby in sports, I find they should give Lobby a piece of land and let him have his own people. You understand? Yeah,
I'm good.
Malin, you know what?
Yeah.
No, before the lady from Roseau. What you go by her? Tell her that the lady from Roseau. Tell her that the lady from Roseau, the lady that fool you there, Malin. Ask her.
The lady what?
That Kione you there, the lady that Kione you, the lady from Roseau. You know,
I can't understand that.
you go ahead, Malin.
People,
Yes.
what I'm saying he is a serious guy when it comes for sports, and sports in Dominica now is dead. Before of long ago, sports was good, and they've seen an all the players, the great players, they should have pictures of them in the Windsor Park.
I agree with you there.
Well, of course.
You understand? Robbie, hats up to you, boy. They kill sports in Dominica. Thank you.
Thank you, Malin. Thank you.
A quick segue, Robbie. While you're here, you should go and see the work that's been done at the up there by the cemetery there.
Yeah. Some work has been done.
You should
that
see
basketball court.
What are they doing
behind
there?
it?
But
I know who's behind it.
I thought it was tennis
they're
court
going to put there.
You're talking about tennis court. You're talking the basketball court right next to the
the tennis
bottle
courts
gardens.
where the
They're doing some good
club
upgrading there now.
Where the Dominica club was. You should see the quality of work.
Dominica, man.
But
I don't know what's happening in Dominica.
I thought they were going to put
and they got some foreign assistants. I
thought they
know
were
what's
going to put
happening in Dominica, man. I know what's happening in
there. I
Dominica.
passed it and I was shocked. Lobby.
So that's what happened there. I really saw something going. I thought you right to some class even they're going on there.
But it's
because they claim that some foreign entity was funding the operation.
Yes,
but Dominica, I don't know. I don't understand Dominica. It's a good thing I'm an old man now. I'm ready to retire.
The surface. Look at the surface. I went to fix my tire there. I was in this surface. That thing for tennis.
For tennis, I know.
You think it's the colas. I tell myself, who did that thing? I tell it.
So you've seen it already.
But it's crazy.
But who can just stop
I
there?
could not
They
believe
started
it.
something and who can just stop?
I could not.
What is really going on?
Well, anyway, the Chinese have been using Dominica to do work. They do inferior work. We don't get the best. We don't get the best. The most skilled people in Dominica, Chinese, and wherever they do work, be it on the roads, now they do in the airport, whatever they have done in Dominica has been inferior. I make no bones about that as a professional.
Incredible. Wow.
So simple. On New Zealand, when I saw New Zealand batting, and I'm telling myself, it wouldn't be a walkover for India.
No, it wouldn't be. You know,
wouldn't be.
New Zealand is these guys are disciplined.
They're deceptive.
The spin, they're playing.
Disciplined.
You see how they're playing and the spinners are in their hands?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
it's going to be a challenge for
New
Zealand.
there.
But they're so disciplined, man. You would never rule out.
Never rule out New Zealand.
Never rule out.
All I said be a good cricket game on them on. We expect it to be a good cricket game, but you're playing against 4 top spinners.
On that Dubai wicket.
It can make batting difficult. It can make batting difficult. 4 top spinners. And then, of course, I say you have the world's best when it comes to chasing. That guy, I mean,
Kohli.
No,
you put Vivi Richards down and you've Kohli.
I can never. I put who down?
Vivi Richards.
I put Richard down. But you know what you speak about? His birthday is tomorrow.
Boy, you must bring him on the program.
His birthday is tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow is the great Vivian Richard. His birthday is tomorrow, the 7th of March. That's when he was born.
But
so Viv's birthday is tomorrow.
Let's get to all.
Happy birthday, Viv.
How would Kohli?
In fact, he's in India now, by the way.
How would Kohli negotiate with Holding, Garner, and this guy, and when we had our quickies and Patterson bowling? How would he negotiate?
Well, I think he's better against pace than spin. If you ask me, I think he'll struggle something against spin.
You think he would be able to handle our pace attack?
Yeah, Cole is very talented.
No, the guy is
Cole is
he has
talented.
a special skill. That guy has.
He's very talented.
Yeah, he has a
He's very
special skill.
talented.
Yeah. Zed, I'm still waiting on you. You're supposed to call to talk about the raising funds, Dr. Fountain. He spoke to me today. They tried to get some buses. You're supposed to call before we finish. I'm not hearing it. Zed, come on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he promised to call.
We'll talk about it in the next program.
All right.
The Workers' Voice.
Right. Oh, well, okay. Because they're raising funds to get at least 45 buses around the country.
Yes.
To transfer people.
Zed, on the 19th of March.
Yeah, he's doing that. So, Zed, still waiting on you. You have a minute before we close. So, do that. Oh, by the way, Lobby, I had to throw something on you. LeBron James now has scored 50,000 points. Nobody will score that in basketball.
How long he's playing longer than
I just said 50,000 points. Listen, hold on. Yeah. You know that's why he's the greatest? Because, hold on. Listen to me. That is when you prove greatness. When a guy should play so long. What? Listen.
You can say whatever you want. This can say whatever you want. He's not my greatest player.
Not but LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time. The statistics will show.
Listen to me. See what I said. You can jump high, you can jump low. There are
lots of like Michael Jordan, right?
No. I'm a Magic Johnson player.
Oh, Magic.
Mike Johnson. Listen to me. They have had players who have played the game. All right, and they have got Magic. They look at. They are not great players, you know. All right, the era of that great players, Magic Johnson to me is mine. That look at Magic Johnson.
I thought Jordan you were going to call.
No.
Jordan was more impressive than Magic.
Jordan
was much more impressive than.
You know what? I say, you know what?
But statistics matter.
Hey, listen to me.
Statistics matter.
The Magic, the LA of the time, when the guys brought to basketball, Showtime. You have to honor this guy.
But the same can be said of Chicago Bulls and Jordan.
No. Listen to me. The game of basketball. I listen at all. Look, the way they elevate the games of fundamental basketball, the fast joking on Showtime. What Magic did for basketball. You
remember before Jordan retired when he went to Washington? You remember his figures in the last 2 years? Well, listen, I'm speaking. Whatever you're telling, the last 2 years he played in the Washington Wizards, he was averaging 18 and 19 points. You know what did LeBron James averaging now at the age of 40, going past 40? And that's how you prove greatness, longevity. How many people could do that to play for and still be at the top of the game?
You can say whatever you want. Magic Johnson, my number one player. That is it. I saw right there. Some I was saying that Kareem. All right, go back to the Pippen said, Kareem, there are a lot of guys, great players, who have got Jordan as number one, as number one.
Anyway, guys, we come to the end of the program on behalf of Ronald Longer, Dr. Fountain, Lobby. We'll be back next week with another interesting program. Again, good night, everyone.
From the US,
we know you. You're going back to the cold started running out. So
Trump country.
Yeah.
Well, Trump. The whole world is in disarray now. This guy is. No, look, he's threatened Hamas now. He gives them a couple of days. He said he would give Israel all the tools to finish the job. This guy has the whole world in disarray. Donald Trump, my goodness. What a mistake that was made.
They had to put him there to expose
To expose what? The guy's causing disarray.
The empire, America empire is falling.
My goodness, boy, this guy, something wrong with Mr. Boy. Donald Trump.
A convicted felon?
Yeah.
America is just when they have a convicted felon as president?
Yeah, he has a whole world in disarray. Anyway, guys, good night. We'll be back next week.
Thank you.